Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's all about expectations for the year 2022 and of course what Nigerians should really be looking forward to this year. Don't forget that next year is electioneering year. Some are saying, look, with this one on the ground, this may just go from bad to worse, or it may just be a spill of what happened in 2021. Others are saying, no, since the electioneering year is fast approaching, there might just be a little bit of improvement because candidates or aspirants really want to impress, you know, the citizens and the rest of them. But what do you feel about that? Is it going to ease security challenges? Is it going to make the economy better? Is it going to be far better than what we experienced last year? Talking about the year 2021. Joining us right now in the studio, he is a vibrant youth, a politician, a human rights activist, you just name it, Stanley Osakwanokodi. Welcome to TMI. Happy New Year to you, Stan.
Thank you very much.
It's been a while. It's been a while. All right. And of course, I still have Barrister Emmanuel Obakpolo to really, you know, balance up this discussion. He was here with Honorable Napoleon Agbama, but I didn't fit to, you know, retain him to speak for some other issue. He was the one that raised the point about electioneering year, saying that governance rather may just be ignored just for the pursuit of, you know, electionary campaign to get a particular position, either the Senate, House of Rep, or even the governorship or the presidency, you just name it. Take it up from there, because Honorable Lapino said, no, that might not happen because the citizens are wiser and our electioneering, how will I put it now, policies and the rest of them is improving as the day goes by. Did you stand by your words?
Yes. Since 1999, we've seen situations where the penultimate year to electioneering, there is this distraction visited on the politicians, the leaders. And we've seen situations where, like we have and anticipate in this year, 2022. The election is in 2023. Yeah. Well seen. The politicians do not think of any other thing rather than what the outcome of the election of 2023 just now. The preparations start from yesterday, the 1st of January 2022. So the distraction on the ground of politics, on the politicians just now, is much. And I, for one, we do not think and see this same caliber of persons doing wonders like Alice in Wonderland. I do not see it. So I see them concentrating more on what 2023 will look like. However, Nigerians over the years, since 1999, have improved, particularly with the elections we've seen in various states, testify to the fact that Nigerians are improving, the electorates, not the politicians. So we now have situations where...
Hold on, electorate, not
the
electorates,
not the politicians.
How?
The electorates have now determined that even where you give them a tin tomatoes rice, or one Maggi cube, or one sachet of salt or sugar, whoever they want to elect, the electorates have made up their mind to so do.
All right.
But with the politicians, they are still with that tradition of trying to lure the electorate to accept them. That is the situation just now.
All right, Stan, do you share his views and opinion, or what do you feel about the year 2022? Will things get better or get worse?
Very firstly, when it comes to the issue of our nation, Nigeria, some of us are already confused about it, owing to the fact that when it comes from the political perspective, we know that there are a huge level of unseriousness on the part of the politicians. But when it comes to the part of the electorate, I am totally in agreement with his assertion. But I think today, what we need in this country is true policy formulation and true implementation of such policy. And one of the things that we must agitate for is for the total restructuring of this nation. And I think just because of the fact that there was little resistance in respect to ensuring absolute security in the country, the federal government agreed to the creation of state local vigilantes across the country. And believe you me, if we use Edo as a litmus test, you also agree to the fact that the level of insecurity have reduced to the barest minimum. I thank God, me, Osakuna, who is speaking with you right now, I'm a member of the Edo State Joint Community Vigilante Security Network, and I can tell you authoritatively that the security architecture has been stabilized. This is not because of the fact that the vigilantes are empowered with more sophisticated weapons than other security agencies in the state. No, this is because of the fact that the security emanated from the people.
From the people?
Yes, it emanated from the people. Let's take an example. In my territory today, if I hear boom, I should be able to know who and who is doing that in my area. But what about a policeman that is brought from Zamfara to Edo? If he hears boom, he's expecting me to give him information so that he can act. Even when he has all the sophisticated weapon, he may not be able to apprehend that individual who did it. But today, those in charge of the security are locals. And these locals ensure that if anybody contravenes the nitty-gritties as expected, you agree to the fact that in this U-type period, despite the fact that there are pockets of resistance in respect to insecurity, compared to what we have before, you agree that insecurity has been reduced to its barest minimum in Edo State. I'm not talking about other part of the country. So, what simply means that if we really enforce this state policing, give room for absolute restructuring to prevail in all parts of the country, believe you me, things may go right. But our politicians are very, very egocentric when it comes to the political interest. When it comes to the large part of the society, which is the country general, you say that the North is agitating that every resources must come to the North, or the South is saying that every resources must come to us, or the West is saying as the case may be. Then when it comes to a fragment in the society, it's either Edo South want the project to be in Edo South, or Edo Central want it to be in Edo Central, or Edo North want it to be in Edo North. If it comes to the zone, let's say South-South zone, is either River State wants it to be in theirs, or Bayelsa wants it to be in theirs. So first and foremost, we must ensure that the National Orientation Agency is re-empowered to instill on the hearts and mind of every Nigerian the ethical stimulus that every citizen must see the country first before their egocentric interests. Let's give an example. In this country today, when somebody becomes president, the clan that the president is from is expected the president to concentrate more development on their territory at the detriment of others. That is not a nationhood. That is not what is tagged an overriding public interest when it comes to national interest. So I strongly believe that the only way this country can be is not enough for us to lament. While we are lamenting, let's ensure, and while we are criticizing, while we are fighting to ensure things is done rightly, we must be able to ensure that we are providing lasting solution as an alternative to check the activities of the whims and caprices of our politicians. Because to me, as I've agreed with him before, politicians are our problem in this country.
Well, you cannot
I'm a politician. Why am I?
You cannot.
Excuse me.
That.
I am saying we are the problem.
Okay, that means you are the problem.
Yes, I am a politician as well. We are the problem. I'm not eluding myself. Now, the only way I can elude myself from the system is that I must be able to show to the entire world that I am different from the existing norm. And this is what I'm doing right now.
All right, now, do you think that the year 2023 election year is it going to affect 2022 economically, security-wise, and all the other wise?
Very, very firstly, we also agree to the statement made by our barrister when he said that, I don't know if he was the one who said it, but I was not part of the program as then, that the politicians will always do everything humanly possible so that they can have more edge over the other political parties in the election. That's the truth. Now, let's take an example. I was expecting an announcement in fuel increase exactly January 1st, but I was surprised they didn't announce it. But this thing is being nurtured. But immediately after the election, they're going to announce it. It is a must, except if they didn't win. So the truth of the matter is this: no, Nigerians should be on a very high alert, because this is the truth. Now you are from Nigeria, and I know you are more than you are even if you are not more than 40 something. Maybe I may be mistaken, or I may be underrating you. You already have this experience. Let's forget about the media ideology or the media mechanism used to control each an individual. Let's be very, very factual. It's our society. We know what is happening. How can one single individual be richer than a state? In a country where we know the salary structure, and one person is richer than the state, where did you work? So the truth of the matter is simple. If we are sincere to ourselves, we already know that politicians are the problem of this country. Now, today, the politician has refused to really empower the National Orientation Agency. But people will not know the importance of National Orientation Agency. The National Orientation Agency can orientate the citizens to the level at which they can stand face to face to say, politicians, you are deceiving us. Go and check in the United States. The 7th Amendment, it gives the citizens the opportunity to bear arms and to secure themselves. I want to ask a simple question. How many persons can terrorize an American citizen? But today, go and look at Israel. Even in America, if you are an American citizen and you have not served the military or you have not engaged in the security issue, you cannot speak as a citizen. They'll say, who are you? What have you done? They will tell you, yes, I served this one. So even in NYC here today, what is the structure of the NYC? As a graduate, you are supposed to be trained with arms. But the government will not allow you to train with arms, because they believe that when the NYC is about with arms, on a very good day, they might say, what you guys are doing, stop it. These politicians don't want to give room to that. They continue subjugation, repression, and intimidation of citizens becomes a paramount interest for politicians. And even if you belong to the member of the Aminu Kano Talakawas, you do not have resources, you are poor, immediately you transcend from the rim of poverty to the rim of affluence, the rim of abundance. You change, you forget immediately where you are coming from. It is a structure that has been built on ground by this essential set of egocentric elements. I think that the only panacea for us to better this nation is for those of us who thinks that we are a little bit enlightened to force the government to re-establish and to rebuild, to reinvigorate the National Orientation Agency. I strongly believe that that is the only way citizens can understand the rudiments and the basic desiderata of what is expected as a citizen. Because whether you like it or not, it is the citizen that will build the nation. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the political, not just the political structure in Edo State alone, but the citizenry for really agreeing in respect to providing useful information to ensure that security prevails in Edo State. As we speak today, courtism has been reduced to the barest minimum. Those who are courtists today are even part of the vigilante. And they are the one meeting the other people to say, come, would they already give us the statement, would they protect to stop your courting activity? If you do, we arrest you. That is why you are not seeing 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 8-9, 5-0, counting the deaths of human beings. It has removed. So it has reduced. So we must commend the strategic plan of the Edo State government in respect to this. And that is why, to me, I believe that since it has worked in the Edo State, it must work in all parts of the country. Let's push for restructuring. Now, when you look at the issue of, if not because of the local vigilantes that is available in the northern part of the country, believe me, the army is not capable enough to overrun the Boko Haram with what we are seeing on ground. But you see those little information, hey, hello, come. So I believe with the way Mustafa is acting, it's like it's not a member of Boko Haram. Don't go and catch him. Because this information is coming in. We don't have information. Security will not work. So we want to say thank you to them.
All right. Now, he talked about National Orientation Agency. Do you think that by revamping that agency, 2022 will be better?
But Wilson, I don't want to build castles in the air. Like I did say, I'm a realist. I don't want to find myself in an utopian situation where I begin to dream. We've dreamt since 1999 in this country. And the activities and the platform created by the government prevents our dreaming or our dreams to come into reality. The National Orientation Agency, they have a plethora of jobs to do. And I don't see them doing that. Instead, you see coming up with policies to even tie the media hand to the back. That is what we are seeing. And all of these practices are deliberate by the politicians, so that they can checkmate the people. We only have in the Constitution, the preamble of the Constitution, we the people of Nigeria. It is only in letters. When it comes to the activities, for instance, let's take the EndSARS protests. They came up with what they wanted the government to implement. And those things were submitted to the government. And the government did promise that these things will be implemented. Please, can you checkmate one? Can you see one today? Like I did say, I said the police brutality we are talking about. All of this come up the issue of insecurity. Because by the time a man is unjustly treated, the man will react. His family members will react. We've seen in this country injustice. Things are not fair. There's no fairness. The other day we saw the battle of words between former President Olusegun Obasanjo and the Niger Delta state man, Edwin Clark. You saw the arguments. For goodness sake, you cannot see that one man will be saying, oh, I have the interest of all Nigerians. But the other man is saying no. Because we saw a situation where a governor Matawale of Zamfara State did say that the gold in Zamfara State belongs to Zamfara people. Now, what do you anticipate from the people of Niger Delta? Then you are not telling me that the oil in Niger Delta belongs to all of us. And you said, if the people say, no, it belongs to us, that they are wrong. No, the injustice brings insecurity. Unfairness brings insecurity. So the politicians should learn how to be just with Nigerians. They should learn how to be fair with Nigerians. In their policy making, they should be just and fair. In the execution of their policy that they have made, they should be just and be fair. When all of these are on the table, we'll see, security will take its place. But when you don't have all of that, you see people agitating for what ordinarily they shouldn't agitate for. You see people crying. You see the lamentation everywhere because they are feeling bad that we are unjustly treated. So if the government want to do well, I will see it by first, they will be just. There should be equity in everything we do. Not that you treat people with disdain and you tell them, shut up, don't talk. The people will talk, the people will complain. Because it will get to where the people will complain, and they will. It's like chasing a goat. When you chase a goat to a wall, the goat will react. The goat will turn back and say, okay, this is survival of the fittest. And that is what the politicians have created in Nigeria. Survivor, a situation of survivor of the fittest. So 2022 can only be better for you and I, where the politicians learn, 1, to be just, 2, to be fair, 3, there should be equitable distribution of the wealth of the country. But where they say no to it, Wilson, I do not expect security, rather insecurity.
Wow. Now, does it not mean that the success of 2022 lies on the shoulders of Nigerian politicians? Is that what you're saying?
On the part of the citizen, if the National Restructuring Agency is re-established and reorganized, on the part of the citizen, one little language must stop. Upchain must stop. If Nigeria must be okay. You and I know where our problem is from. When we see that, there is no upchain in Noto. When the president goes to...
You go to Yaran in the north.
Excuse me.
There is.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Let him land.
I will start an example.
All right.
I will start an example. When the president gets to the mosque, if he comes late, he's going to pray behind. If the same president comes to the south and is going to the church, for example, he comes late. It is the pastor or whatsoever that will come down from there to say, please clear, the president is coming. We created a chair for him at the front. That's an example. We have not been religious here, but I judge that as a classical example. Rank and dede, or no rank and dede, it may be true, but you cannot compare the level in the south and in the north. Now, let's tell ourselves the simple truth. A politician sits on our collective wealth. I know because I'm sensible. You know because you are sensible. We want to make the politician, why did you take what belongs to us? It is your fellow youth that will tell you, if you near our organ, we'll finish you. If you near our Oga, we go finish you. There are army, there are police. This politician will not go and recruit these people to defend him. You will see, apart from the normal security details attached to them, you will see youth manning different locations, protecting the same man, subjugating the whole of us into economic repression. So, first, it is orientation, and the media must change their ways. The media is not helping matters. It is the truth. That is why, on a daily basis, I continue to thank Mark Zuckerberg, who gave people the platform to air their view. That is why on a daily basis you see the president, we are back to that. Facebook must be restricted, this must be done, because they already know that we no longer depend more on the existing media in the country, but rather we are now using social media to actually right the wrongs in our society. You know how many employment created by social media? So numerous. In fact, it's social media that made so many persons not to be hungry today in this country. So believe you me, with all due respect, it is very good for you to have respect for others. That is the truth. But when you know where your problem is coming from, you should be able to meet such a person to say, hey, and again, if you don't have second address, don't venture into politics. Let me give a classical example. The song that was used to campaign for His Excellency Governor Godwin Obaseki, Oga carry ticket go, came from me. But since after the election, believe me, it's not as if I do not need to be appointed in the government. But I believe I have never called one single person to say, hello, why do you never say bring the job now? Why do you never say give me the appointment now? I have not. I did not even apply for any appointment. This is because I have a second address. I am working. By the power of God Almighty, the policy of the government of Edo State gave an opportunity to what I studied, urban and regional planning. Today, I'm into CFO. Today, I'm into survey. Today, I'm into real estate. In fact, issues relating to the built environment. Now, in this case, when we are playing politics and somebody tells me, hey, go on, that's what you tell me, not correct, I know if you do one. You are not the one feeding me now. You are not the one feeding me. But if I don't have second address, believe you me, I'm going to say, leader, don't you? No resistance. So before you venture into politics, be you a successful looter. Because I cannot call you a successful man. You are a looter. You looted public wealth. You are a successful looter. Go and get yourself a second address. All right. And let us look for a way to recheck the political situation. Imagine, in the Western world, you agree to the fact that a politician has to have second address. What they do for a living. But here, you ask this man, what is he doing? You say, he's a pastor. What's this man doing? He's a politician. Is that your job? Even if you read political science, you should be able to invest in that same politics, get something different from, if they not give you office, you go there. All right. I don't know if you're getting my point. Right. So these are the ways we can better the society. Now in 2023, that we are talking about, right now, we're already 2022, let nobody deceive you. Election has started. From the very first day we shout Happy New Year, the electionary campaign activities has already started. Even at December, we have already had some little meetings, politically separate from government, that this and this is going to be the presidential candidate. But for me, who is Osakwunohodi, I'm the political fence man. I am still watching what development unfolds. But in respect to building a better society, believe me, 2022 will be a little bit smooth, and it will be rough economically.
I'll come back to you on that.
And I will tell you that.
So it'll be a little bit smooth, but to be rough economically. Now, does it not mean that our security challenges, our economic woes, so to speak, is tied to politics?
Yes. Everything, man, is it Aristotle or this other warlord that said that man born of a woman is a political animal?
Aristotle.
Yes. So you see the situation. Wilson, a little digression. I listened keenly. I watched and listened keenly to Governor Fayemi of Ekiti State in a sister station. That is a 31st day of December 2021. Though I am not amazed, but I know many persons who heard him said what he said, that the government know the bandits.
That's what he said.
Yes, on air, that the government know the bandits. I begin to imagine, if you say insecurity, and that we are fighting insecurity, and those behind insecurity are also known by the government, then why do we have insecurity? I also listened to the Attorney General of the Federation, the person of Malami SAN, in a radio station in Kano, where he said, he was asked, now that the court has declared the bandits terrorists, why is the government delaying in making that pronouncement and in treating the bandits as terrorists? You know what he said? He said that it is procedural. And amazingly, the man now said it will take 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Meaning you are telling us that the tenor of this dispensation, political dispensation, will go before the bandits can be treated as terrorists. That is the simple analogy and interpretation.
That's your interpretation.
Yes,
of what he said.
that is it.
Because others might have different interpretations.
Interpretation.
Okay.
So you are somebody has been identified as one causing insecurity, and you are saying it is procedural to handle that situation, and you are telling me that 2022 will be better in terms of insecurity. Mind you, the economy of this country can only be better where there is security. That is the situation. Now see the budget. We are spending budgeting so much money to fight insecurity, and the steps to doing that are not being taken. And you are telling me 2022 will be better economically. 2022 will be better security-wise. 2022 will impact the lives of the ordinary Nigerian. Wilson, I wouldn't want to believe that, because it's like building castles in the air. So the government of the day, to my mind, does know what to do to curb the situation of insecurity in Nigeria and to make lives better. Now, economically, the farmers can no longer go to farm, because farmers are afraid, if I go to farm, I will be killed. Then, how would we improve economically? We are spending so much money, budgeting so much money on things that are not relevant. And you said the government has not done anything, to my mind, that we appear or that we near improving the lives of Nigerians. What is the exchange rate of the naira to a dollar today? What is it? Even the yen, what is the exchange rate of a naira to a Chinese yen? All of these questions should be asked. Before this government came on board on 29th May 2015, the naira was battling. The naira was a bit stable. If I can remember vividly, my memory judges me correctly, 168 naira to a dollar. But today, how much? It's more than 500 naira. And somebody is telling me, economically, Nigeria will improve. Somebody is telling me, security-wise, Nigeria will improve. Now, the equipment we bought to fight insecurity, where are they? They are somewhere in Kano being dusted by the Harmattan. And somebody is telling me, but if it is a situation to use those Tucano jets to go to the east and fight, now the thing will get there. In split of seconds, the thing will get there. But here we are. We have been able to identify those who are causing insecurity in our country, and somebody is saying, well, it is going to be procedural in order to deal or undo the situation. We are going to take time. We cannot just jump into it. It's a shame where we find ourselves today.
Stop. You heard them.
If insurgency lasts 24 hours in a nation, knows that the government is involved, General Sani Abacha. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Bandits in the north, terrorists in the south. Government refused to declare the one in the north a terrorist, but it's called a bandit. Now, what is the difference between the activities of those said bandits and the Boko Haram? And what is the difference between the activity of the said bandits, the Boko Haram, and the IPOB in the southwest, in the southeast? First, you can identify the level of gross injustice on the part of the Fed government. But you know, in this country, it is always difficult for the media to allow people to say the truth as it is. As far as we are concerned today in this country, the problem of insecurity in this country is caused by the federal government.
Oh, hold on now. Many pundits take another term from your own assertion right now.
What is the cause of, how do I mean? The court declares bandit terrorism. And to the general who is supposed to, because it's like a bridge between the court and the Fed government, is telling you it is procedural.
Is it all right?
Excuse me now, I'm coming now. This now, thirdly, the media is supposed to say, this thing is bad, though. Is telling me now again, is it all right?
It's a question I'm asking.
You are a question I'm asking. You are talking as a representative as well. So at least to some extent, I should be able to use these three angles to judge the issues. Now, what is procedural is in it? It wasn't difficult to capture Nnamdi Kanu and to bring him from other country to Nigeria. It wasn't difficult. There was no procedure. Immediately, he was incarcerated. His trial commenced within a twinkle of an eye. Let me not give wrong information. How far about the case of Kabiru Sokoto as a judge, as a lawyer, you're going to continue from there? Now, what is all this in a nation? We call this a nation an indivisible political entity where every individual is seen on the basis of absolute egalitarianism. But today, some set is being treated with kid glove, while some other is being treated harshly. And I want to ask you a simple question. If, for example, you have a father, you have two siblings alongside you, you committed a crime in your house, your father dealt with you seriously. Other siblings did the same. Your father treated them with kid glove. How will you feel? Won't you amass more strength to look for a way to bring down that individual who is protecting your younger siblings against you? So when you attack one and you protect the other, it gives room for insecurity. So I've been able to explain why I said the federal government is the cause of insecurity. And I know you won't doubt it again, based on the example they have provided. The point being made is very clear. And for those of them who are lawyers will say, ipso facto, in line with the discussion, the truth of the matter is very simple. The political will lack it in this country. And the political will must not come from me. It must not come from you. It must come from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because he is the one to enforce everything that comes to his table. Now, let's trickle our memory back to little history. You do not expect me to take care of 95% who voted for me and the 5% who didn't vote for me. Or sorry, the 1% who didn't vote for me. Listen to that language. That was the president. That was the statement made. Is it not in Chatham House in the United Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken? And what do you expect if a president makes such a statement? How do you expect that statement to go down well with the citizen? From the very day of this administration, the people already know that it's going to be sentimental management. And for those who are part of the administration, either from the south or southwest, it's not because of the fact that they want to be part alone. They will not say their mind because they know that, yes, they are being egocentric and they want to satisfy their economic quest at the detriment of the people. So they are ready to take both the shit, the whims, the nonsense and all.
Watch your language now. Watch your language now.
All right, very good. Let me watch my language. I withdraw the sheets. But they are ready to take anything. Now, let me give an example again. You expect Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu to come out to tell the president, I don't like this, when he wants to become the president in 2023? Let me not talk about him now. But I'm telling you, the voices who can tell the president, what are you doing? I'm not saying it because of their personal interest.
All right.
So the point being made is this. It's not all right. The point is not all right because the country is poor, people are suffering. You're telling me all right?
Good.
Okay, very good. The point is this. Average citizen in this country is really suffering. And those one who are making it a little bit, he's saying, okay, no problem. Let's just see if it's going to be better. Now, until when average citizen plays the lives of those who have subjugated this economy into repression, into risk. That is when this same set of people can say, in my constituency, I can no longer enter. President, go and work. For as long as they continue to come in and go back in peace, believe me, Nigeria will not be okay.
All right. Thank you for your submission. Spoken at length, Barrister Emmanuel. It's like both of you are not really optimistic for the year 2022. Now, what do you think should be done to how will I put it, to make it be pessimistic about the year 2022? Because we're like, expectant.
First and foremost, every Nigerian should be treated as equal. There should be equality. 2, there should be fairness on the side of the government. Then 3, there should be justice. If a man wrongs, in a situation where A wrongs B, and I see that A has wronged all of us, we will correct A. But where A is treated with kid gloves because it belongs to a particular ethnic group or a particular region, there will be so much agitations. We want this country to be a great nation once again. In the 70s, in the 80s, and early 90s, Nigeria was the giant of Africa. But today, the story is no longer the same. We want Nigeria to still maintain that position as the giant of Africa. So like I said, those 3 factors, equity, fairness, justice, when all of these are done, Nigerians are not asking so much from the nation, from the government. Not at all. Give me road. Is that what to add? Now Nigerians are saying we need restructuring. Somebody is saying no, we will not. If I ask for restructuring, is that too much? No, the answer is a no. It's not too much. And if we identify any person that is causing insecurity, the person should be dealt with appropriately with the provisions of the law. Then you will see things will take their natural shape. Like in Edo State, just now, we need good roads. Electricity, to my mind, is stable a bit. So we need good roads. We need security. Edo State security has improved. There's no doubt about that. And also, I want to tell the government that these young men who have given themselves the vigilante group should also be taken care of, so that tomorrow they will not be tempted and all of us will begin to shout, crucify him, just like they did to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. No, they should be taken care of. The vigilante group, they are not asking so much. So if all of these are put on the table and things move the way they ought to be, then we will not come to the studio here and begin to shout insecurity, insecurity. We will not do that. Instead, we will come here. Wilson, I will come here and say, oh, the government is doing well. Oh, things are moving in Nigeria. Oh, this is Nigeria of our dream. But also, where they fail to do, if I'm given the privilege, I will come out and say it.
All right, now you just don't. I want to go for a break. We'll return. Stan, you will share your opinions and, of course, your thoughts. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's a live studio. It's all about expectations for the year 2022. And my guests have spoken at length, talking about Honorable Napoleon Agbama, one-time local government chairman of Umude local government. And of course, I have Barrister Emmanuel Obakbalo and Stanley Osaze Osakunufodi. They've been talking, speaking their mind, going in depth, or putting the feelings in their soul. I just really have to put my foot on the ground sometimes to let them watch their emotions and all that. So it's all about the way forward. He said justice, equity, fairness. Do you have other views or contrary views?
If you look at the word justice, is an holistic statement, equity is an holistic statement, fairness is an holistic statement, and what all human beings wants. But in the course of his discussion, he focused on those states and why he applauded the security situation in the state, and he called for the immediate rescue of our dilapidated roads in the state. And we also recognize the fact that the state government recently, during the rainy season, awarded over 105 roads, if I'm not mistaken, which will be touched immediately. By the power of God Almighty, we expect the state government to, as a matter of urgency, work in that regards, because we are in the dry season now. Any moment from now, the rainy season may come. So, and I know that the governor is going to do that. And in respect to the security situation, we interacted off camera as well, and we know that the need for the government to take good care of the vigilante to avoid the situation, a backlash. Let me just use that language. Yes. You know, as we speak right now, the leadership of the vigilantes are very, very observant when it comes to checking the activities of their members. And I think they need to be applauded. But if you have to go outside of those states and you want to look at the federal government in itself, outside political affiliation, I'll be very, very factual. Although I may not like the president as a person, even if he works, I don't like him as a person. That's just the truth. I won't deceive you.
Yeah, that's your own opinion.
That is my opinion.
I mean, you love him.
Yes, that's my opinion. But the truth of the matter is, aside my like or hate, let's look at the country in itself. I think the country, just yesterday, I overheard that the federal government announced that the second Niger bridge is about 70-something% completed. We do not want to see 70-something%, we want to see 100% completion, so that, because that road will help in no small way to assist Nigerians. And the federal government, in its part, must be sincere enough to do the right thing. Now, if you look at the democracy we are having today, we need democracy in this country, but I do not think that this is the kind of democracy we need. The military is bad, the military is bad, the military is bad, the military is evil, the military was this, the military was that. The military did not, no part of the military that sold fuel above 20 naira. Not part of the military throughout their reign that sold fuel above 20 naira. As we speak today, what is the price of petroleum product? There is no part of the military. When you talk about the infrastructures in this country, it was built by the military. It was the British and the military that built the infrastructure in the country. How many of this infrastructure has been built by the democratic government? Babangida must go. Babangida is bad. We don't like what Babangida did. As we speak today, there is no bridge that can defeat 10 million bridge that has been built by any democratic government in this country. Go and confirm. So at least as we speak, we needed democracy in the country, because, as the saying always go, in Nigeria, although it's a political statement, that the worst democracy is better than the best military. But I've not seen such reality on ground. During the military dispensation, nobody can come out to say, I'm a member of this court. You just fly your beret and begin to move in the street. But today, somebody will say, this is so dreaded court general. You will still see the general of the court interacting with the government on how to reorganize future elections. So government must be sincere enough to do the right thing. And why we, the citizen, must be very, very vigilant. We need to educate ourselves. If the National Registration Agency fails to do it, Barrister Bakbolo, myself, Osakunokudi, and all other enlightened Nigerians must enlighten fellow Nigerians. Thank you.
Well, I have anything to say, because I know you've already summed up your point before went for that break.
Yes,
Any other thing? Just briefly, our time is up.
Yeah, my admonition for the political class, and for there to be a better 2022, the political class should think right, act right, and stay right.
Think right, act right, stay right. Do it safer now compared to other states. Please take care of the Vigilante network, please. I saw a young lady also as part of the Vigilante network, very, very young, carrying a gun. Was like, are you sure you're doing this? She said, yes, I'm doing it also. I'm part of Vigilante. I was so impressed. But come on, for how long can one work without food in the stomach? When I mean food, at least incentives. Take this at the end of the month. Keep hope alive. Because I don't want a situation whereby it will now be a reverse of the situation whereby the protector becomes the predator. We don't want that. So please, something should be done about it. So as it stands in those states, at least things are like, security-wise, we are like, faring better than many other states. So kudos to our beloved governor. I like to call him Comrade Governor Obaseki. That's what I want to call him. I like to call him that. Comrade Governor Obaseki, you're doing well in that aspect. But we still expect more. Yeah. But outside of those states, how is the country faring in general? Economically speaking, security speaking, job creation, employment, power, you just name it. This is the year 2022. Expectations are high. Many like saying, Wilson, we don't have any expectations so that it will not be dashed. I don't know about you, but I know that by God's grace, we'll definitely get there. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on today's show. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
The opinions, theirs, it has nothing to do with ITV, but it is a bit possible to follow some regulations governing the airwaves. See you next week Sunday. God willing. Bye for now.